Hey guys, welcome to Blackish. I'm your friendly moderator, Michael Schneider. I'm the executive editor of TV Guide magazine. Thanks all for coming out. I mean, it's the hottest new show on television, so how could you not? And we've got the stars that make it happen, who have made this the best new comedy of the year, best new show of the year, let's be honest. So let's bring out our stars right now. First up, I mean, you know him from everything, from Law and Order and Treme and even All About the Andersons. Remember that show? The star of Blackish, Mr. Anthony Anderson.
Right there?
Sit by me. I know you're really going to be running this thing anyway, Anthony. I'm just along for the ride.
I am. Don't worry about it.
I already know. Also the star of Blackish. I mean, you remember her from Girlfriends, of course, and more recently from Read Between the Lines. Miss Tracee Ellis Ross plays Rainbow.
Hello. I was trying to get them to push me out the way they pushed Anthony. I got nothing.
That's okay. Hold on, Tracee.
Will you put this in your pocket?
See, I'm just going to watch you two. That's my plan here. The real secret weapon of the show are the kids. These kids are amazing. So let's welcome to the stage right now. First up, she plays Zoey on the show, Yara Shahidi.
Yara.
It's all about the hair.
Hello.
It's all about the hair.
Yara's done a lot of shows. She's been on The Fosters and The First Family and Scandal. So maybe she'll give us some
None of those shows
Scandal,
matter. None of those matter.
Next up, he plays Andre Jr. on the show, Mr. Marcus Scribner.
Marcus.
In the building.
Marcus
About to make it rain in the comic book store.
Marcus has been on New Girl and Wendell and Vinny and Castle and so much more. Next up, he plays one of the twins, Jack Johnson, MilesBrown.
Totally inappropriate. Do not give that back, by the way. Do not give that back, Marcus. Put that in your pocket right now, and I will take a tip. This is mine.
Anthony, how much money do you carry in your wallet?
And of course, I don't have pockets. I'm going to have to give it back to you.
I'll hold it for you, Tracee. I'll hold it for you.
He is going to make it rain. And finally, she plays the other twin, Diane Marsai Martin.
Give it up, Marsai! Marsai, the Michelin tire girl!
That's right.
Yes.
Hey, Marcus, give me my money, son.
No, I told him not to.
That's okay, I'm accounted for him.
Just keep at least some of it.
Give me the other ones that you're forgetting about. Give me the other ones.
Anthony, you have so much more where that came from.
I do. Hey, give him the one that you dropped. Thank you. Okay, keep that $1.
So this is a cast that is gelled immediately. I mean, I feel like from day one, you guys were a family. So talk about that and how, Anthony, you guys managed to put together this family that it's got so much chemistry and looks like a real family.
Yeah, it's wild that you say that while we were shooting the pilot. No, actually, when we were back for the first episode after the show was picked up, I turned to Tracee and said, Tracee, it seems as if we've all been together for 3-5 years now, you know, and not just the cast, but the crew and all of that. You know, Tracee and I have known each other close to 15 years. I have no idea who these strangers are. But they all came in, and they were the pick of the litter of everyone who came in for their characters. And we got our top choice with everyone. And the studio and network didn't fight me on it. They said, who do you want? I said, I want Tracee. They said, you got her. Who do you want? I want Yara. You got her. Marcus.
I had to audition.
You had to. Well, yeah, you did. But I gave it to you. Did you get the job in the room?
Yes, I did.
Okay. I can't tell you what I told her because there are kids present. But I told her to go out there and tell all them other they can go home. The job is yours. And that's how it worked. And, you know, we just have fun every day. We're a real family, off screen and on.
And Tracee, talk about, you guys did know each other, so was there immediate chemistry?
With Anthony and I?
Yeah, how'd you guys first meet, by the way?
Tell the truth and shame the devil.
I hated Anthony.
Yeah?
All right. Tracee and I go back.
Backstory. Let's
Okay,
hear
no,
some
let me
backstory.
start
and I
here.
go back.
No, Anthony and I hosted an award show together,
Yeah.
and right,
The Vibe Awards.
the Vibe
years
Awards.
Ago.
And what are you going to tell? Don't tell the real story, Anthony.
I was going to tell the story as to why you hated me, or you hate me
No.
for another reason.
No, if you tell the story of why you hate me, you're going to embarrass me all over again.
But you didn't do anything.
It doesn't matter. You embarrassed me then. Don't do it again.
I won't. Okay.
Was this an on-camera embarrassment?
Yes.
So can we go back to YouTube and find this
No,
clip?
it's pre-YouTube.
It's pre-YouTube.
I don't even think there was internet then. No, anyway, that's not true. The bottom line is Anthony and I have known each other for a while, but we've never had an opportunity to work together in this way. And from the moment I walked into the audition, I enjoyed the role from reading it. I had choices in my head. I had a way I wanted to portray this woman. When I walked in the room, and it was the moment I walked in, I don't know if it's who Anthony and I had grown up to become 15 years later, whatever it was, and we worked together on Read Between the Lines and all that. So, I mean, there was no hard, bad blood or something. He just embarrassed me, and I was upset about it. But when yeah, it's upset to be embarrassed. Do you know what I mean? It's upsetting. It's not nice in the soul. It makes your soul ache. You go home, you think about it, you feel embarrassed. You have shame. Shame is not a nice feeling. Shame makes you feel bad inside. And he made me feel bad inside of my soul. Anyway, so I went to the audition, and from the...
Has he ever apologized? Has he apologized?
Yes, of course, yes.
Okay.
Yes. That's over. It's over.
Apologize today.
No, forget it. But when I walked in the audition, the moment with Anthony and I, it was like boom. Yeah. It was like boom. And all of a sudden, I understood the whole show. I understood who this woman was outside of the fantasy of my head. And it was this magic that I don't know. You can't make it up. It's either here or it's not. And he's such a generous actor and a generous person and a crazy person. And it's a good mix. It's a good mix.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, on the Vibe Awards show.
Terrible moment. The shame is welling in my body.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to say it.
Yara, talk about how you got involved with the show and that this character, which this is, you kind of walk that fine line between being the mean girl, but yet still, loving her family.
Isn't her hair lovely? Did you go get it did today?
I did.
You got your hair did today.
I got my hair did.
I love it.
Who did it? Miss Tanya Cryer.
Tanya Cryer did her hair, girl. I like them black Shirley Temple curls.
Thank you.
All right. All right, go on. Answer the question.
Well, I liked Zoey because I think when I auditioned for her, I had just one huge monologue, and it just showed so many random emotions and different facets. I don't know what I just said. Facets of Zoey, and that I really liked. And then when I walked into audition the second time, me and Anthony were wearing the same shoes in different colors, so I think that was something that I really loved about it too.
That's why you cast her.
Yeah, I did.
Yes.
Never mind. Go.
What kind of shoes were these, by the way?
They were girl shoes. Let's not.
And
No, they were Oxfords.
There were
theme
girl
of this
shoes.
moment.
Yeah.
But I had a lot of fun just working on Zoey and working on the monologue, and then it was even more fun in the room, and then we were just messing around the second time. Mm-hmm. And I walked out, and I was like, I just had a great time. And you don't always feel that way after an audition, so that was a great feeling.
So remember that. If you ever come into the room to audition with me, you're going to have a great time.
It's true.
You may not get the job, but you're going to be happy about not getting the job.
It does seem like a roller coaster working opposite you.
No, it's not a roller coaster.
No?
He is who he is. And it's a really fun, safe ride, actually. Yeah. You actually can play because you feel safe, and he makes you feel safe.
Thank you, Tracee.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. It's more of a NASCAR race is what it is.
So Marcus, talk about joining the show, and how'd you get the gig?
Well, I first went into audition with Anthony and Kenya, and I just walked up in the room and I said, represent LA swag, let's go. And Anthony, none of those words go together.
That wasn't in the script, right?
They don't go together in that order. But I was just recollecting on that memory. So I went in the audition, and I was just having such a great time acting off of the reader, which was Anthony. It was pretty crazy. And I was just freaked out afterwards because I was like, oh, my God, that was amazing. And I just really feel like Junior is me in a way. Like, I knew everyone was gonna laugh at me for that, but yeah, I'm a klutz in real life, so I can relate to the character, and I just think that Junior shares some of the same interests that I have in real life, like video games and comic books and things like that. So
actually, you guys just melt. I'm just done.
Son, you share some of the same characteristics as Junior because Junior is just a make-believe character on paper.
Thank you, Anthony, for that nugget of information.
You know.
So yeah, and it's just
unfazed.
It was an amazing process working with Anthony throughout the auditioning phases. So yeah.
And you know the thing is, in the pilot too, your character has quite a bit to do. I mean, you're a big part of the premise. So that must have been sort of amazing to kind of jump in and suddenly be, part of this huge production.
Yeah. At first, it was slightly overwhelming. I was nervous as all heck because I was scared to work with Anthony Anderson and. Just seeing him on the...
You mean TV's Anthony Anderson?
Yeah, TV's Anthony Anderson, off the wall, like running around, crazy Anthony. But, once I got to work with him, he's actually a very caring person, and he's just a great actor to work with because every take brings something fresh, and it was just awesome.
I feel like this is your life.
Comes from the heart, people. Comes from the heart.
Best job ever.
And for the, I mean, you guys, for the youngest, you guys are seasoned actors already. I mean, I'm looking at your resumes, and it's like you've been in this business for decades. So talk about joining the show and what auditioning was like with these guys, and what you did to kind of get this job.
Well, when I first walked in for the audition, I never felt how I usually feel going into there because I never have done an audition with part actually of the cast, and so that made me more nervous, and it made me try, I guess, more harder for the job, and so when I first heard the call, I got super excited because I thought I had as good a chance of anybody.
It's unbearable.
Ladies and gentlemen, Baby Boogaloo. Baby Boogaloo, ladies and gentlemen.
Also known as Party Time.
That's AKA Party Time, right there. Don't let that little sad story fool you.
For me, it was like more than amazing to have this part, and like when I auditioned, like when I got out of there, I'm like, wow, I actually did this, because this is my first TV show. I've been doing commercials and stuff, and it's just like a blessing to have this job. But like when I got the call, I was on the 405 freeway, going home. So
and you were driving.
She was driving. Yeah. That's what she's not telling you. She was in the carpool lane by herself.
No.
To be fair, she drives a Tesla, so she could.
No, she does have a Tesla.
It was an Accord, exactly. But my mom drove, and I was in the passenger seat, just wondering, like, oh my gosh. Like, I was just wondering because my heart was beating so fast. But when they called, it was like all the people, my agent, and then everybody was in the back, like, hi. I'm like, what's going on? I was like I was just so nervous. And when they told me, my mom like told everybody. I was like, I actually like went to sleep after that. But like it was amazing, and I'm excited.
Very nice. Well, for the kids, talk about your relationship offset. Are you kind of getting to know each other almost like siblings? Is there a little bit of a sibling vibe now on set?
There is, and I'm the overprotective sister always. I have 2 younger brothers of my own, and it's honestly like, oh my God, don't go there, I don't want you to break. And that's usually what happens, but we've been having a lot of dance competitions lately. And what other competitions do we have?
Singing competitions. My favorite game, the Quiet Game. We have competitions with that.
Yes.
And
I
how does that go?
That goes pretty good
Like
until
this.
yeah. I have to go pee. That's how it usually goes.
That's how it usually ends?
Yeah, that's how it usually ends. Cause
I usually lose.
You two hang out a lot.
Yeah.
You guys hang
They're
out a lot.
secretly dating.
They can't stand it when he says that. It's not funny, Anthony.
They're going to
Not
marry one.
funny.
They're going to marry one another.
No,
They're going to marry. Yes, you
he's
are.
been saying that
Yes,
since we
you are.
first met.
You're going to marry one
It
another.
makes him really upset. It makes him really upset. It's okay.
That's
The
gonna make
love that you share. I mean, it's amazing.
that's
Don't
gonna
deny
make
it.
that's gonna make for a weird spin-off in a few
very,
years.
very weird.
Yeah, really.
They travel to Vegas together, man. They be taking road trips.
They hang out. Yeah, you guys hang out.
Yeah.
Yes,
we
like
went
siblings.
To Disneyland one day.
Vegas the next day.
It
Yeah,
was
they
New
did.
York. It
You
was
didn't go
It
to
was
Vegas.
New York. They went to New York.
No, Marsai didn't go to Vegas. She couldn't go that weekend because your cousin came into town. Right.
Oh, big head cousin.
No, that was New York.
Oh, not Big Head.
It wasn't the big head cousin.
Okay. She has these relatives that come and I nickname, and one is always there, and this big head cousin. I get confused.
Don't respond. Don't respond.
All right.
Anthony
You
and
see the roles here, right?
Anthony and Tracee, talk about. I interviewed you guys on set before the show launched.
Yes, that's him. You just
Yeah.
remembered him as him? You know, they all look alike.
I know.
Journalists all look alike. Where you going? Journalists all look alike. Always have notepads and recording machines. See, all right.
Exactly. Driving our Priuses. But now the show's a bona fide hit. So talk about bona fide.
Say that real loud, Marcus. Bona fide. There you go.
So for both of you, this is a show that this could go on 8, 9, 10, who knows how long. This is, I mean, what's that like to kind of be at the start of this journey that could go on for many years to come?
It's an interesting ride right now. To have something that resonates with the people. This is based on my life and my partner Kenya's life, and so to sit up there and tell the story of our families on screen every week, and to have the people respond to it, black, white, brown, yellow, all races and creeds, and to have them embrace it, and the biggest compliment that I've gotten so far has been from our non-black audience to say, when I look at your show, I see my family up there. And that's what we set out to do. We just happen to be a black family telling these stories, but they're familiar stories that we all go through. And it's just an amazing ride to be a part of that, and to be a part of such a great cast. I mean, the fun that we're having up here right now is how we operate on set every day. We are family, we are friends, and we have fun.
Preach.
Well, I got to tell you, the episode where your character goes to the kindergarten class with cupcakes and he's heralded a hero, and Rainbow is like, I do this every day of my life. This is, that's not anything.
She's not Cupcake Man. She's
But
not Cupcake Man.
sitting on the couch with my wife, she turns to me and she looks at me and she's like, yeah, this is it. This is, I mean, it's so true, so uncomfortably true that this is how people live. Tracee, how about you? I mean, what's it like now kind of being at the start of this journey and a show that is resonating with audiences and could go the distance?
Well, I think the fun of it is you never know. Like, often you are having fun at work, but you don't know if people are going to respond to the show. So to have the combination of both is really exciting. It's a really nice marriage of things. And I think just in general, we have a ball. Like, it's a really fun place to work, and I'm really excited by the material, which I think keeps you intrigued and challenged. And that's, to me, I really feel like good writing is what keeps a show. Like, this show is based in really great characters, a really specific vision. the point of view of these people is really being expanded and developed upon, and that makes it fun to play, which makes it exciting to think that we might go for a long time. I mean, I was really blessed on Girlfriends. We did 8 years. And I was happy playing that role for 8 years. I didn't get bored of her. And Rainbow is a complex, kind of crazy, lady that has a lot happening. And I feel like that's going to be fun to play for a long time. And it's going to be fun to play with them for a long time, you know?
We got some questions from the audience, and this is kind of a follow-up on what you were just saying. Here's a question for Anthony, but I think this is for Tracee as well, because it applies to both of you guys. I mean, how do you feel now playing parents, and what advice do you give your TV kids, quote unquote?
Well, I'm a father in real life, so you know it's Andre is Anthony, Anthony is Andre. The advice that Andre would give is beat your kids. Beat your kids.
That was episode 2, right?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. Don't break the
She's like, do
don't,
it too.
Don't break the skin. Don't break the skin.
What is
And if
happening
they
right now?
welt up, put ice on it, and don't send them to school the next day. Let the bruises heal, and then just say they had the 24-hour flu, Ebola, or something, and then send them back to school, and everything will be fine.
That's a very special episode of
Yes,
Blackish.
it is. Tracee?
Slightly different point of view.
Nope. Well, that's what makes us unique.
Exactly. Very nice. I don't have kids. I've been very involved in raising my brothers in real life, but I'm a very mothering person. But I don't know. Ask them. I mean, I don't think I've given you guys any advice. No.
I think it's just been kind of from watching you guys and being one of the big comedies that we've all done. It's been great to just watch them and then see them, because it's helped us grow as actors and realize, like, oh, you don't have to stick to the script, because sometimes it's awkward, and it's more about the dynamic and the family relationship.
Yeah, and Anthony and I have a very similar style of working, which we really feel blessed to do. We've experienced other things, but we both play a lot, and there's a lot of space in the writing for the behavior and the connection of these two people to come through, and I think that's the vibe that has been set on the stage, sort of, when we're working. But I think Yara and I have had a lot of personal time outside of set. I haven't worked with Marcus as much. I haven't. You're usually with Anthony, and I work with you two often. And I have to say, it's the best thing in the world. It's amazing. And I remember take this lightly, don't take it so specifically, but I remember when I first got my dog, I thought to myself, there's only so... Just
really?
bear with me. Just bear with me.
Okay.
Just bear with me.
We're bearing.
There's only so bad a day can be with Ladybug in my world. Like when your dog comes at you with that toy, like only so bad a day can be. There's only so hard a day can be at work with this. Like it's like the perspective of this. Like I walked on set one day and I hadn't been there and I hadn't seen those two, and they came running at me, Tracee, and wrap your, like how bad can a day be? Like what kind of mood can you hold on to in the face of that joy? You know?
Yeah. I'd also like to add that these young actors up here have grown exponentially from day one.
Yeah,
and it's a joy to watch their growth every day, on set. And it makes me proud to be a part of that and to call them my family. And so I just want to say that. I tell them every chance I get, but I'm going to say it in a public forum right now. I love them, and I love the growth that I see in them every day, from the oldest to the youngest, and they're just an amazing bunch of kids to work with. And I tell the kids school is for suckers.
Yes, he does.
Yes,
all the time.
yes, he does.
It's
A whole
so
lot.
terrible.
Yes,
They ain't
he
gotta go to
does.
school.
Yeah.
School is for suckers.
Listen,
You got a hit TV show. You can buy a school.
Every time we go to school, he's all,
You can
"School
start a
is for
school
suckers."
like
See,
Will
okay,
Smith and
okay.
Jada Pinkett Smith. School is for suckers.
Basically,
He
at
always
work
says that.
every day, it sort of goes like this. Anthony's spouting, shouting, things like that. And I'm like, no. Look at me. No. Look at me. Focus here.
I can vouch for
Every,
her.
True.
every time we would go to school, he would say, "School is for suckers."
I would love to see you homeschool your kids. That previous question, by the way, was from Sahar Sabri, so thank you.
Thank you, Sahar. Where are you?
Hey, Sahar, how you doing, boo-boo?
We kind of following up on what you guys were talking about earlier, David Thornhill has a question about how much of the acting is improv. How much leeway do you guys have to kind of work it out and deviate from the script?
The improv queen is that one right there.
Right there.
Right there. Right there.
But in general, the funny is there. The scripts are really there. But I always tell new directors that come on the set, don't say cut after the scene is done, because that's when the magic happens.
That's when the magic actually happens, yeah.
With Anthony and I.
We will have like 40-minute scenes, it feels like, because we're just going on forever about some piece of improv that we just thought of in the middle of the scene. And it's just great to let our creative side go. And it's amazing working with Anthony and Tracee. So, yeah.
So there'll be some good DVD extras.
Yeah, it should be.
A lot of bloopers.
It should be.
Thank you, Dave. Delia has a question for Anthony or Tracee. She says, I like the way you balance your characters.
I like the way you work it.
No diggity.
I like the way you work. She strangely wrote the No Diggity lyrics on this card. That's strange.
Hey, yo, hey, yo.
So, okay, is there a question?
You better ask your question, man, and we gonna go on. Play on.
So she likes the way you balance your characters away from the stereotypes, but real.
You're my kind of girl.
It's like enough of both worlds. How do you keep your writers in check? How do you keep your writers in check?
I think how do the writers keep us in check?
How do they keep you guys in check? How about that?
They try to keep us, they try to make us say the words that they write, but we refuse.
Some do, some don't.
Yeah, some do, some don't.
Talk about your relationship with Kenya, because it is these characters are kind of based on both his experiences and your experiences.
You know, Kenya and I are managed by the same manager, Brian Dobbins, in the back of the house. Oh, well, we brought Tracee into the fold, too. Tracee is now managed by Brian Dobbins. So Kenya and I had never met one another. So a little more than a year ago, Brian set up this meeting. Kenya and I sat down and met, and we realized that we had more in common than we didn't. And we just started sharing stories about our families and about our situations. And about a month or so later, he came back and said, "I have an idea for a show based on what we talked about," and it was Blackish. And here we are today. You know, one of my best friends now and partners in crime is Kenya Barris, because of what we've been able to put on the screen and share with the world.
Yeah, I'll say a little more about Kenya. I actually met Kenya on Girlfriends. He was a writer on Girlfriends. We became really good friends there and remained friends. And there's something very special about Kenya's singularity of vision, his understanding of comedy and tone, that I think is really what makes this show kind of fly off the screen. It's really, his comedy is grounded in real characters, specific points of view, an honesty of perspective that's not sort of for the comedy, but for the truth, that gives it sort of legs and arms at the same time. And he, even in the journey of from the show starting till now, has really grown into an executive producer and creator that has learned how to really embody all of that in all aspects of the show. There's like, you know, when he's on stage, for example, you know that if you hear Kenya's laugh, like, you know you found that right sweet spot in the tone. And he's a very special guy that is sort of, to me, the umbrella that's around this, that's kind of keeping it on course. And I personally, originally, even before I read it, just his description of it and knowing Kenya's sensibility was part of what drew me and intrigued me to the role in the show.
Wow, that's an Ivy League answer right there. Somebody went to Brown University.
I mean,
somebody dropped out of Howard University. Hey, children, maybe school isn't for suckers. All right, stay in school. Don't be a fool. Nope to dope and ugh to drugs.
Thank you. Finally.
Yeah.
Well, Anthony, we've got a question from Robin, who calls herself a fellow Howardite. Robin, where are you? There you are.
H.U. Oh, what up, Robin? It's Robin McClam right there. Is that her last name on there? Robin McClam. I ain't gonna say what class she is, but she was ahead of me.
Well, she asks, what were some of the challenges stepping into the role of actor and executive producer simultaneously? So,
yeah, that's Robin. Okay, I know her. No, what was it? What was the question again?
Talk about stepping into being both an actor and an executive producer. So how do you wear both hats, and what's that like, sort of going back and forth between
Honestly,
the two?
they only let me wear one hat, and that's actor. They don't let me executive produce anything. No, it's my executive producer hat was worn in the original inception of the show, and casting these lovely actors that you see before you. Other than that, I'm on the stage as an actor, and I leave that to them. I spend 14 hours a day dealing with my family here, and
then another 7 in voiceover.
Well, yeah, that too. Yeah, another 6.5. But I mean, it's great to have that title and to wear that hat. You know, I chime in with and help make decisions in some direction. But that's mainly Kenya and Jonathan Groff, our EPs over there.
Do you bring many stories from home?
I do. You know, in the beginning I did, and I also had my mother on set last week, and she sat in with the writers for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and just filled them with a bunch of lies about me that they're going to write about. But no, I don't really break stories with them. You know, I broke stories with Kenya earlier in the process, and that's about it. Yeah.
I'll tell you, Anthony. Anthony also has 2 name tags at the table read meets. So one's an executive producer one, and one's an actor name tag. So he'll switch seats every time he's going into either role.
Depends on the questions I need to ask. Okay. You know, because some of the questions the actor shouldn't be asking. So, you know, I do switch seats. I do. Thank you for bringing that up.
You pull rank every once in a while.
Yeah, I do.
So lord it over the rest of these guys.
I'm teaching the children what they have to look forward to in this
I like
business.
the school of Anthony Anderson. I think you really ought to pursue that.
Look, man. Children, school is for suckers. Come to my school.
Do you ever view scenes? Actually, a question from Tony Q. Grant, who also kind of got an executive producer question. Do you view scenes differently at all? Do you ever sort of think of it as a larger, this is impacts the show this way versus sort of how it impacts you and your character as an actor?
I mean, I mean, you have to. I mean, you have to. You know, there's an overall theme to the show and an overall arc to where we see this going, and so you have to do that. Yeah.
I've got a question for the twins from Jessica Michaela Adams, who is 9 years old from Compton, California. Where are you?
Whoa, what up? I'm from the CPT. I'm from the CPT, Long Beach, Rosecrans, Ludus Park, Louis Burgers, Church's Chicken, Compton Indoor Swap Meet, Pop Top Liquor Store. What'd you say? You're a Twitter friend? Okay, what's up, baby? Shout me out.
Wait, were you just naming a whole bunch of places in that? What were you just
That
doing?
was all my neighborhood. That was all in like four corners.
What was happening?
All 4 corners. All 4 corners. El Castillo, the Compton Drive-In. All right, she knows what's up.
So she wants to know, first off, for the twins, what made you want to start acting?
Well, seeing like my favorite stars like Robert Downey Jr. Anthony Anderson.
Tracee Ellis Ross.
Tracee Ellis Ross.
They were big Treme fans, weren't?
Tracee Ellis Ross. Yeah. They all made me. They wanted me to. They didn't want me. I wanted to do what they did, which was acting, because being in front of the camera, on screen, maybe like producing my own show one day. That'll be awesome. Like Anthony Anderson or Kenya. They inspired me to act. So, yeah.
Anthony, you're going to be working for him one day.
Oh, yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I already tell Marsai that I'm working for her. I already know who I'm working for. Both of them down on the end. Pass it to your sister, son.
Ooh. How I started acting, it clearly came naturally, but my dad.
Some of us are so modest.
Clearly.
Some of us are so modest.
Oh my God.
Clearly.
When I had my first acting session, I was just standing there like, I don't know what I'm doing. But when the camera shined on me, I'm like, but I just fell in love with the camera, and like the more I grew, the more I wanted to become bigger, and I watched Dreamgirls. I watched Ray Charles. I wanted to learn all the lines on there, so I did. I watched Shrek. I knew the whole movie. So like when I growed up, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be an actress someday. So, but the more I grew, the more I was inspired, and the more I wanted to be bigger. And every time someone asked me, "What is your dream? Like, what do you want to be when I grow up?" I say, a legend. So. Oh my God. Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
No, I think the rest of you should.
Please.
The rest of you leave the stage. It just should be her.
That's my sister right there.
You see what we have to deal with? You see what we have to deal with?
If you don't know, that's my sister right there. My older twin sister. And we're twins. And we're twins, so just look out. Oh my God.
I know, I'm forgetting you guys aren't actually twins.
No. No, but kind of.
Hey, how about let's go down the road real quick for the rest of you. What kind of your first big break was? Marcus, what was your first sort of big job?
My first big job was like a rip top like toy picture thing, and it was pretty cool, and that was exciting. But I'd say my first big job would be when I was on Castle, and I was just super excited when I was there for the first time, and we were doing like the final audition, and it was pretty cool because I was like 10 years old, and I was really nervous. When I was 10, I didn't have nearly as much confidence as they do.
I still don't.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so Castle was pretty cool, and it was just awesome getting to work with Nathan Fillion and people like that. So it was super cool. That was my first job that got me my SAG card. Yeah, SAG cards. Woo!
Yeah, by the way, we haven't shout out to SAG Foundation, which is holding this.
SAG! Shout out to the SAG!
SAG forever.
Yeah. Yara, how about you? What was your big break? How'd you get your SAG card?
Well, I did a lot of commercials when I was in Minnesota. Yeah, I still have the accent, kind of. But, so I did a lot of commercials with my mama and the entirety of my family. And it was really cool. And at first I was like, you know what? All I want to do is commercials. That's all I want to do. And when I was approached with the Imagine That script, and I was like, no, I'm cool with commercials. I'm cool. And then they were like, hey, you should actually read it. So I read it, and I was 7, and I auditioned the first time. I was like, this is kind of cool. And then I auditioned another time, and I was like, it's even cooler. And then there were like 12 more auditions, and I had the same reaction. And I ended up getting that, and I was on set for 5 months. I played Eddie Murphy's daughter, and it was a lot of fun. And I was like, okay, I can see myself doing this. And for me, it didn't become work. It was just like, oh, I get to play. And I guess people are videotaping me while I play. Okay. And it was just so much fun that I continued doing that. And that's how I got my SAG card.
Notice how she just dropped that name in there. That was Eddie Murphy's daughter.
Yeah.
Little movie.
It was strategic.
Eddie Murphy.
Small thing. I like the fact that it's 7. You're like, I think I've done about all I need to do.
I'm cool with doing commercials.
I've hit the
Commercials
wall.
is all
Hit the
right.
Tracee, what would you say was sort of the moment where you're just like, this is what I want to do?
Oh, I was going to tell you my Taft-Hartley moment. Was an Infinity commercial.
Yeah, do it. Taft Hartley. Okay.
I was very excited about it. I was modeling at the time, and they asked me to. I was auditioning for a secret print ad. I went in.
Secret, as in like nobody was supposed to know about it,
No,
or the deodorant.
Secret deodorant.
Okay.
Print ad, and in the other room across the hall there was Infinity commercials, and I'd never auditioned for a commercial. I was in college, and I went in and ended up getting it. Didn't even know what that meant, and then shortly thereafter, I remember I auditioned for Malcolm X, for the movie Malcolm X with Robbie Reed, the casting director Robbie Reed. She was casting at the time, and I remember I auditioned and. Then they brought me back in, and I auditioned for Spike Lee, and they asked if I had the sides, and I didn't know what that meant.
Like,
and I got
6.
really nervous. I started like sweating, and he was like, "The scene," and I was like, "The scene. I have the scene. I have the scene. I know the scene." I did it, and after the audition, she brought me in, and she said, "I think you should consider this," and I was like, "Consider what?" She was like, "Acting," and I was like, "Why?" Like, I didn't understand. And she said, "I think you have good instincts." And I was like, "Okay." And I like went back to college and kind of didn't think about it for another year. And then I took acting classes in college and kind of fell in love. Don't think I could be doing anything else. I think I'd get fired from another job because I'm too loud.
And Anthony, what was your moment?
Wow, let's see. This is all I ever wanted to do since I was 9 years old.
Great story.
Yeah, it was actually, wanted to play football for the Dallas Cowboys, wanted to be a lawyer, and I wanted to be an actor. And at the age of 9, I decided that I was going to be an actor because I could be all 3 of those things and whatever else I wanted to become in life. And my mother was on stage doing a production of A Raisin in the Sun at Compton Community College, and I was sitting in the back of the theater. I'm the oldest of 4 kids. It was just the 3 boys at the time. And the theater was babysitting us, and I just happened to look up on stage and see my mother performing, or rehearsing. And I said, that's what I'm going to do with the rest of my life. And that's what I've been preparing for, for the last 35 years. And here I am. My first job in the house, Debbie Allen, LL Cool J, NBC, Must See TV.
How old were you then?
I was 25.
Yeah.
25 was my first
But
gig.
you, what about, because you went to performing arts school.
I went to high school for the performing
tell that
arts.
story. That's such a good story.
What story is that?
About how you were specific, that you really wanted to go there, and
oh, okay.
your mom.
All right.
It's a good story.
It's a good. Well, my mother. Yeah, I grew up in Compton. My mother didn't want me to go to a school in the hood. So my brothers and sisters after me, they all went to school in Carson and Torrance, where my mother worked, and I was in an acting conservatory on the weekends. Anything that I found, anything that I could do to put myself in front of an audience or to learn the craft, I did from the age of 9. And so I found this conservatory, and I was a part of it. And I saw on the bulletin board, Fame School comes to LA, Los Angeles County High School for the Performing Arts. And I snatched it off and I brought it home and asked my mother if I got accepted into this high school, could I go to this high school? And she said, yeah. So I wrote an essay, I self-taped a monologue, sent it in, and I was accepted as one of the first students at the Los Angeles County High School for the Performing Arts. And so I did that, and from there, I went to Howard University, where I met Robin McClam right there as a theater major, and yeah, it's crazy. People always talk about, their homecomings and homecoming at Howard now. I was like, there was no better time to be at Howard University than the time that I was there from 88 to 91. And I say that because I went to school with Robin, I went to school with Paula J. Parker, I went to school with Wendy Raquel Robinson, I went to school with Wendy Davis, I went to school with Puffy, I went to school with Ananda Lewis, I went to school with Marlon Wayans, I went to school with the musical group Shy, AJ, Calloway, Laz Alonso. All of us were at Howard at the same time. So to have all of this creative energy at one place at the same time, and then for us to go off in our respective fields and become the success that we've become, that's why I say there was no better time than to be at Howard at that particular moment in time. And I will say that to my dying breath.
I'm sorry, I wanted to, please, that's very applaudable.
Yeah.
I wanted to say that it's so interesting that all you guys knew so young. I was extremely shy growing up. And in high school, in my senior year, we had to, as part of the electives, we had to do a theater production or something. And I went so far as to go to the headmaster of the school saying that I didn't think it was fair that I would be forced to be on stage when I didn't want to be. And went on stage, it was Pirates of Penzance, and literally wouldn't sing the words out loud and just mouthed and did everything I did. I was so shy. I was painfully shy.
Really?
Had no idea I wanted to be an actor until junior year after that weird audition process. I was modeling that weird audition process with Robbie Reed where I rolled my eyes and then went back to school and was like, maybe I should take an acting class. And it was in my acting class that I fell in love with acting. And I remember the first exercise it was, they had us, it was the sentence, there's a man on a roof and he's gonna jump, and we had to say it 3 different ways. And we could come up with those ways. And I thought it was the most extraordinary exercise. And I realized that all of the things that I hated about myself, all the things that scared me, all these different parts of me that I was trying to hide and turn into something else, that I actually could embrace and love in this journey of acting, and that you could become anything you wanted to be. But it was really about sort of exploring who I was as a person and getting to know that person so that I wasn't afraid to go to any part of myself as a part of that journey. And it all started in college, but I didn't know Young at all. I thought I was just going to wear sparkly gowns on a stage.
Okay, but before we go on, can you give us your 3 versions of
Don't
there's
remember
a man?
what they were.
It doesn't matter. Give
It doesn't
them to
matter,
me
but
now.
I can do 3 now.
There's a man on the roof and he's about to jump. I'd like to hear this. And action.
There's a man on the roof and he's about to jump.
Okay, that's one.
That's a scary one.
Yeah, that is.
There's a man on the roof. He's about to jump.
Okay.
Ready for
I
another?
really like that one.
Another one? There's a man on the roof.
Mm-hmm.
He's about to jump.
Oh.
All right.
All right.
Well, I think that's
like
a
that.
good note to end on. We've run out of time, guys. So thank you so much, SAG Foundation. Thank you so much, the cast of Blackish.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Wednesday nights on ABC.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's not forget about the legend. Let's not forget about the legend. The legend is leaving the building.
Peace. Okay.
Okay, cool. All right,